On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Broncos captain Alex Singleton, and he's on with us right now, so let's jump into the episode starting now. We've got the myth, the legend, Alex Singleton joining us on the DNVR Broncos podcast. Zach Stevens, Henry Chisholm coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge inside the DNVR Bar. And without further ado, let's go out to the Denver Broncos inside linebacker. He's a captain. He's led the team in tackles multiple seasons since he's been a Bronco. As Henry's probably favorite title of his is a Montana State grad. He is an advocate for Special Olympics and his newest title, Dad. Alex Singleton, let's bring him on. How's dad life treating you?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Dad life's the best. Yeah, little Talon, she just rocks. She sleeps good. She just giggles and laughs, doesn't cry. We're spoiled. So first one's a good one for us.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I think she takes it from you because I never really see you have a bad day. In fact, I mean, the worst day you've had probably in the past year, you still played football through the rest of it. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to talk about something awesome that you're doing, Alex. You're having a charity cornhole tournament next Friday, May 16th, in here in Denver, and to benefit Special Olympics. Why don't you tell us about this?
Yeah, we're simple as that. We're having a cornhole tournament that raises money for Special Olympics. I'm hosting it. I'm going to get a bunch of the guys out there. We're going to have a bunch of special prizes. We're going to have a Bo Nix signed jersey, a Cortland Sutton signed jersey, 3 full team balls signed. We're giving away tickets. I'm giving away jerseys. It's going to be really fun. Yeah, as you can see on the screen right now, it's at Citizens Edgewater Park. To sign up, God, I got to send you the link. It's charity.
We've got the link in our description right
here.
So
link.
In
cool.
the show, everyone can just click it right there.
Click the link. T-shirts. There's going to be a ton of guys there. It's going to be really fun. There's a beer garden. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a cornhole tournament, which I think is one of the greatest things to do because everybody can play. It's a really fun time. We can all talk trash, have a good time, and raise money for a really, really good cause and something special to my heart.
Well, you're leaving one thing out of there. The reason that you like it's a cornhole tournament is because you're like an all-star at cornhole. So you just want to beat everyone's ass. That's why you're doing a cornhole tournament.
Yeah, I may or may not have participated in a pro tournament so far, but that doesn't matter. That I'm not. People don't need to know that. It's just we're coming out to have fun and raising money for Special Olympics and. Mm-hmm. First place gets some stuff, second does, third does. So there's a lot of good opportunities, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been asking around trying to figure out who of my friends is the best cornhole player because I need a partner. I need somebody who can help me win this thing.
Well, I mean, you're on the team though, so like.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah,
and that's the trash talk that's going to be out there. Is there going to be an Alex Singleton signed jersey? You said Bo Nix, signed. Oh, no, okay, good.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
I feel like,
you're holding back.
That's just part of it, That comes with it. No, so getting the guys involved, it's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm just really excited, and obviously, the more people, the more money raised for Special Olympics, because that's what it's all about. Is giving back to them. And yeah, it's all going to Special Olympics Colorado. I know a lot of people have heard about the polar plunge and all that. So trying to start something that we can do annually and, raise money and have a good time.
I love that. And you mentioned how many giveaways are going to be there. We are going to give away a team entry to your event. To anyone that's tuning in right now, we're going to give away one team entry. So the only thing is you have to be here in Denver, May 16th, a week from this Friday. It's from 4. It starts at 4 p.m. In Edgewater, right by Sloan's Lake. So comment Alex in the Toyota chat. You hear in Dion, monitor that, and we'll give away at the end of this interview one entry to that. So comment Alex in the Toyota chat, and we will give one entry away for anyone else. And then also, if you can't make it, still click that link in the description. You can donate to this awesome event that Alex is doing. Alex, one of the awesome things that you're also doing now is recovering from a torn ACL. We saw you play 49 snaps on one ACL in that game against the Buccaneers when you tore it. And it was just, I mean, Sean Payton said he's never seen anyone play that long on a torn ACL. Now we're less than 8 months removed. How's the recovery going?
It's good. I feel like I'm on schedule. It's feeling really good. I'm, working my way into doing things with the guys, which has been the most important thing, to kind of be on that timeline with everybody else during the off season. And so, I'm able to do that. And so, full speed ahead from me. We're going to just keep attacking this like everything else, and excited for this season.
So what's a timetable for fans to be looking out for you to be ready to go?
Yeah. I still can't technically fully say, but let's just say that there should be no worries about 49 playing this year. It's going to be, I'll be out there.
I love that. And it's kind of crazy how you played 49 snaps on a torn ACL, wearing number 49, and now we're not going to have to worry about that torn ACL. The final question regarding this is, do you feel like you're healthy enough now to where you could tackle Henry?
Yeah, that would have been about 4 months ago.
Yeah, no, it's just not fair.
I did tell people when the Super Bowl, because I went down for the Walter Payton stuff for the Super Bowl, and I was like, by that point I was like, I think I could have played football this weekend, and maybe not then, but it's I'm 7 months out today from surgery, so let's just say we're in a really good spot. So
what's
we
that
get 3
like?
more months.
You have
more, so we're good.
You have like those 7 months, everything feels good, but has it just been like every day you feel better than the day before, or are there pauses in there where you feel like there's setbacks, or has it been pretty smooth?
No, I would say that's the one thing that's been awesome with my recovery. And, I've been with Bo Lowry every single day since, October 15th, since surgery. I would say, thankfully I've just had kind of a steady incline. And one, I would have told you 4 weeks ago, or 4 months ago, I could have played football, but I know I couldn't have. But now, since, every single day, that's 120 days ago, and every day I felt better. So every day I'll tell you I feel better, and then I'm kind of wondering when that time will come that it's just maybe, I don't answer that question, but hopefully it just continue to feel better and, just be better than I was before.
Alex, because you brought him up, Bo Lowry seems to be like this mythical, magical person with the Broncos now. I mean, before he got here, the Broncos, I think, were the most injured team, had the most games missed due to injuries. Since Sean brought him here 2 years ago, it seems like outside of a couple terrible injuries, obviously, like the Broncos have been one of the most healthy teams, if not the healthiest team in the NFL. You said you spent every day with him pretty much over these last 7 months now. Is he this magical person that can just make teams healthy?
No, I think that, I just think there's a really united front between the training room, the weight room, the nutrition staff, the kitchen, and then with Sean. I think just everything's coordinated for us to be as healthy as we can in a football season. I think a lot of people talk about how, our training camps are harder than other people. Well, obviously, the harder the training camp, the healthier a season. So I think just the stuff we're doing is the right thing. And the reason I got to work with Bo all season is because nobody else got hurt. I mean, we had me and Quinn Bailey were the only season-long IRs. I mean, you look at, teams like Detroit, yeah, most of those were freak injuries, but they still had 20 guys on IR. They all couldn't have worked with Bo Lowry on their team, So, thankfully, we were and have been as healthy as we can. But I do think it's the whole building. I mean, Bo is special. I'm going to give him all the credit in the world. I just think we do it the right way, and the culture and that shift of even that, not just the culture of the team, but the culture of the training, the rehab, and just the attacking, just staying ahead of everything. Kind of that prehab has been, taking huge steps really fast here.
When did you realize that, the Broncos strength staff and training staff was as good as it is? Because obviously you were here for that change. Is that something where you just say like, hey, Sean says these guys are good, so we trust it? Or does it take some time to realize that this is actually a group that you trust, you want to work with?
Yeah, I think it takes some time to adjust, and then also, there was a lot of guys, a lot of turnover. A lot of the training room stayed the same. Corey Jones in the weight room stayed the same. We brought a new nutritionist in. A lot of the kitchen guys kind of either moved up or moved on, and it just kind of everyone, I guess, under the umbrella of Bo and a couple other people, it just kind of went, hey, we're doing it this way, and everybody just kind of bought in. I think we had a younger team the last 2 or 3 years, and so guys were kind of learning what to do, and so having the vets buy into that, it makes the transition really easy.
Alex, you okay sticking with us after a break for a couple more minutes? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's hit a break really quick and then get back to Alex because I want to ask him so many more questions about the new players the Broncos have added and what he thinks of this team. So before we do that, I'm going to give a shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's, where they've got the Raising Cane's Flavor Fest going on right now. You can get that Flavor Fest over at Raising Cane's because everything they do is so flavorful, delicious. We love Raising Cane's. Heck, that might be lunch this today, actually, maybe this weekend as well. They've got the hand battered, cooked to order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and secret cane sauce that is made in restaurant every single day. And you can actually take just all of those things, put it together, and make a sandwich. I mean, doesn't that sound good? You get that coleslaw on it with the cane sauce, with the buttery Texas toast. Amazing. You can dive into Flavor Flav's Faves. What are you waiting for? It's Cane's O'Clock. Go to Raisin Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. We love them here. We know that you're going to love it as well.
Do you know who Flavor Flav is?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Okay, that's what it says there. Also, shout out to Coors Light.
Flavor Flav's Fave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flavor Fave from the rap group.
I don't know the rap group. No.
Okay.
I've heard the name.
Okay, that's a good start. Coors Lights, they're awesome. We were here at the bar last night for the Nuggets game. I was actually here for a really long time because we're getting ready for Mexico, and then decided I had to get here like 3 hours before the game to get a table. I was just sitting there drinking Coors Lights, getting some work done. Maybe that might be the thing. Can you get Coors Lights in Mexico?
I'm sure, of course.
I'm sure you can.
They're
I've
everywhere.
never been to Mexico. I don't know. That's no, I've never been to Mexico.
Oh, you hear takes offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, wherever you are, even if you're in Mexico, apparently, you can grab a Coors Light. Great for watching sports, great for hanging at home, especially cold day like today. Good Coors Light day. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer. Just says beer at the end.
Beer. There you go.
Beer.
That's what it is. Beer. Okay, let's jump back out and talk to Alex. A lot of people have commented, Alex, in the chat. Yahir and Dion, make sure to be pulling one winner in a couple of minutes. So, Alex, I hope you're spending less time with Bo.
Wait, I have so many questions first.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Where do we start?
Are we? First, you have to order a second piece of bread to make it a sandwich.
That's true.
You never
Yes,
forget.
yes.
You have to order the second piece, so don't forget that. It's important.
Is that what
but
you
it's
do?
Good. Yes, of course.
Okay. Just
Big
making
Raisin Cane's guy. Love it.
Yeah.
Are you a beer guy?
Yes, we may or may not have had a beer Olympics recently, and Coors Light should have sponsored.
Yeah. I haven't had a beer Olympics in forever. We used to have like one a year in college, and those were maybe the best day of the year.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, speaking of Mexico and beer, we've got a celebration coming up for you, Alex, in what, a month?
Yeah, June 15th. It's the official wedding. So if Coors wants to, which Coors is sold in Mexico.
You just think it was a Colorado
I've never
thing,
been. It was one of those things. Well, because I was. So sometimes you like see the pictures in like grocery stores, and it's like, this is the American food section. When it's like a grocery store in Italy or something, they'll have like some weird flavored Oreo and like some So I wasn't sure if like other countries have all this stuff, because like I guess we have Modelo's here. They aren't as good.
We also have
as Coors.
tequila.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of tequila.
Or did you know that tequila was sold in the United States, even though it's like a product of Mexico?
Yeah, but like we can't make it here. So the only way to get it here would be to buy it from them. Like they make beer.
Yeah.
You know?
They buy Coors. from here.
Can you make tequila in the United States? No, you can't.
You got to grow agave.
Yeah. I think it's like champagne. Like it has to be grown in a made from a certain place,
Okay.
or otherwise it's called something else. I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I love these conversations at noon on a Tuesday
Making me
right now. It
thirsty.
makes me think of the
Yeah.
weekend. But Alex, I want to know what you think about your new inside linebacker partner, Dre Greenlaw. I think a lot of people outside of the facility were surprised at like how much the Broncos win in on defense after having such a great defense last year. Dre was one of those big pieces. What do you think of him?
No, I'm really excited. I mean, watching him play the last 5-6 years has been nothing but good football. So I'm super excited. We've spent a ton of time together already. We can't wait to get after it. It's just exciting. We're still in that phase where we're not full on football yet. It's just kind of like working out and all getting to know each other. And it's all we talk about. It's just how exciting it's going to be. Just getting after the football. Like, we're so excited. It's kind of, I think this year, like what you said, a lot of guys, including in the building, didn't fully expect that. And when we got it, it was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like, we just went somewhere that, a lot of teams don't ever go. And so we're really, really excited.
I mean, you can just tell by the smile on your face when talking about how excited you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's going to be awesome. Like the
Yeah.
process after you find out that they sign him, you go back and like watch the highlights and you're like, oh, this guy's insane. Like, he's out there to like knock people down. Like, this is a legit linebacker who's going to be a monster middle of the defense. And like adding Hufanga, using the first round pick on Jahdae Barron, like that's got to feel like Christmas for you, just getting all these pieces added to a defense that was already one of the 3 or 4 best in the NFL last year.
No, yeah, it's where you sit there like, and you just look around like when we're training and you just see Huff and stuff. You're just like, we're gonna be like, it's gonna be special. Like, it's gonna be, and that's the fun part about this time of the year. Like you're saying, it feels like Christmas and all this stuff. We have such a good opportunity. So for us, it's to not mess that up. So now that's kind of the mindset we have to go in now is like, hey, this has to be everything to everybody in this building. Like as I would say, the Broncos for the last. Almost the entire time this organization's been around has had a top 5 defense. So even the last 10 years, people could be like, oh, the Broncos have been bad. Their defenses have never been bad. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, let's be better than the 2015 defense. Stuff where like that's what we need to chase. And it has, you have to chase it, when we start practice here in a few weeks in OTAs and go get it then. Like, we have to be the best every single day to get where we want to go.
So, I mean, my expectation for you guys is you're the 3rd best scoring defense in the NFL last year. And I know that's just like one stat, but you were damn good last year. You get not only those 2 guys from San Francisco, first round pick, like Henry said, but you get you back as well. I mean, you only played 3 games of the entire season. Those are 4 big additions to a defense that was already elite. My expectation is best defense in the NFL, but the way you're kind of talking, maybe the expectations are even more than that, which is kind of crazy to say.
Yeah, just it's April or it's May now, but we don't want to settle for anything. Is kind of where my mindset is. It's going to be, attack this and if in May you're not saying you want to be the best, that I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
Be realistic when December rolls around. But right now, all our, we have literally every single workout in front of us. So if we just attack them all to be the best, that's what you can be.
Is there pressure that comes along with that? Because like when we sit here and say like, hey, on paper they've got a chance to be as good as anybody, like they could be number 1, like that. When the expectation is so high, I mean, that how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think it's something. I mean, you have to crave that, almost chase that in this kind of profession. If you don't want that, I think a lot of guys, it happens. Guys chase, just money or certain individual accolades. But like when you want that to be the best as a group, to be the best as a team, I think you have to. It does take a certain amount of 53 and 60 guys to buy into being selfless for 300. I mean, I guess we started 2 weeks ago, so let's say April 25th till February 20th. Like, to be selfless for that long is really hard, and I think it's almost ignoring the outside noise and just like looking around every day and just being like, like we got this, and being able to pick the guys up when you know someone doesn't have it, because having that every single day is tough. But just to have the mentality that we can do this, and to know that every single guy in the room is going to chase that same thing, is you should want that pressure. You should crave that and like desire it. I think like it almost sucks when you don't have it. And I, for a little bit, getting here, it was like there wasn't a lot of that going on here. And now I would say like there's people that are that are hungry for that success. And I think that's what you want. I think you want people that want the pressure, not people that, are afraid of the pressure.
I love that. And speaking of mentality, we talked to Talanoa Hufanga last week, who said Dre Greenlaw is like just such a chill dude off the field, but when he gets on the field, something switches and he becomes a desperate player, is what he said. I know you guys haven't taken the field yet. Have you seen any of that from him yet? Because I know that you're also like that as well. I mean, you don't seem like a guy that's going to make 180 tackles in a season talking to you right now, but you're going to go out there and be that type of guy.
180, 200. No, yeah, I would say, I've gotten the chill version so far. We've talked about stuff where it's we can tell when we start talking, you kind of get that like, almost like light in your eye where you're like, oh, there it is. Like it's right there. It's ready to go. And I think that's almost the worst part about the process is like you have these thoughts and these conversations, but you don't even get to start chasing that until you can say OTA practices, not really. And you can even say training camp, but almost not really. Like we won't get to see that from each other until maybe 10 plays of the first preseason game. It'll be like, whoo, like there we are. That was fun. Like we just tasted it. And even I would say early in the season, it's hard to, feel that with people always right away. Cause it's such a long season that you're it takes, 5, 6, 7 weeks to kind of build that groove. So I'm itching so much to get there. And, obviously being injured as early as I was, I'm itching just in general, but just, yeah, you just want that back. You want that chase back. And I know he's got it, and I know Huff's got it, and I know the guys that we have that. So it's just so exciting. This time of the year sucks because all anybody does is talk about football. All we do is talk about the draft. We're going to talk about the schedule. Next week you guys are going to be sitting here going, we're playing blah, blah, blah week 1. If we start 2-0, we're going to be the greatest team in the history of football. But, like, it's so much for us, like, getting in a rhythm and a routine and, like, finding how we can all make each other the best we can be to be, how good we want to be.
When you weren't playing last year, what was the part of the game that you missed the most?
The game.
Just the whole thing? The whole thing? There's no detail in there?
Thing. No, I would, my day has not changed since the day I got back from getting surgery. Like I'm in here at 6 a.m. and I leave at 1 o'clock, and it's all treatment, lifts, and runs, depending on whatever step I'm in of that process. It's gotten, obviously a little more advanced, but like, that's what I do. I do rehab, I lift, and I run, or I run and I like, that's always been the same. And so like, when I would see you guys before practice like that, it killed me to just watch them be going to practice and I'm like going home. Mm-hmm. Like those days like that just eats at you. And it was awesome, like coaching the guys and like helping out. But like, yeah, you miss, just dude, staying on the sideline when the anthem's playing. Like that's the only time in my week I feel like I stand still. And I just had like this rush of emotion of like, let's go do this thing. And you get to have that feeling. Like I was watching the Avs game the other night, which was terrible. But, the anthem, and I'm like sitting in my living room and I'm like, I can feel my stomach like it's a pregame, like getting excited. And I'm like, dude, we still have 5 more months to do that. So that's what I would say I miss the most, is just like being in the game, being a part of it. And, being older, it's not necessarily like, I can't sit here and say I'm going to play 10 more years. It's not going to happen. So to like miss that time and miss the game, and just like I love being in the huddle, breaking the huddle, like getting out, figuring out what's going to happen, and just like running through a gap and hitting somebody. Like there's nothing that brings that much joy to my life, because it's different than the baby and my wife. They bring me the most joy ever, but that's a peaceful joy. Like an angry, violent, like physical, like kind of like caveman, like joy. You don't get that anywhere else, and so
No,
like
you don't. And if you try to, you're going to be put in prison for it. So
yeah, so we're not.
You got me so fired up for the season. Like you said, we all have to wait now 5 months for that. The final one for you, at least final one for me, Alex, really quick, is what has Coach Todd Davis been like? I know that you haven't been on the field for OTAs and stuff, but he's in the building now. You guys took him away from us, so now we got to get the intel on Todd from you.
Yeah, I'm actually going upstairs after this to go meet with them. No, Todd, he's locked in a cave upstairs with the other young guys. All the position coaches all have offices that have windows outside. He's locked in a dungeon somewhere, reviewing film, getting ready for the season. I would bet he's itching more for us to start practicing than probably anyone else in this building, because they lock those dudes away and make them break down everything. And so he's doing great. He's like the stuff I've talked to him and our new linebacker coach about. I think our room is gonna, obviously besides bringing Dre in and like we're gonna take off. It's gonna be really exciting. I think we're gonna have younger guys prepared. Obviously Justin played a ton last year. Drew's, gonna be, Drew and Justin are gonna have a ton of reps this summer with me and Dre, and so it's gonna be just really, really exciting to just. With having Todd, a guy who's played a ton of football in our room, plus it's just really exciting. So he's doing good, and so I'm sure you guys will see him this weekend at minicamp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rookie's in the building this week, and just when you go and see him in his dungeon, tell him that's what he deserves. He doesn't deserve a window for leaving us.
No, yeah, and this will be the first time he sees the sun this weekend. So
yeah, exactly. And it's not even sunny out, so that's great.
No.
Yeah, I've got to show respect to the Montanans and ask you about Tommy Mellott being a Raider. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, it's fuck the Raiders, but outside of that,
Yep.
outside of that, I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him. I gave some of our scouts a hard time. I was like, dude, we're gonna let this dude score 3 touchdowns on us. Like we can't give Tommy Mellott away like that. No, I'm super happy for him. And obviously, anyone getting drafted from Montana or Montana State, it's a big deal, especially when they're Montana kids. I'm super excited for him. I wonder what he's going to play. He's not going to play quarterback, I'm assuming. I don't see. I mean, he could. You never know, but that would suck because then he wouldn't see the field. I think, dude, I could see him playing. He's going to be a punt returner. He's going to be a gunner on punt. I could see him being, dude, might play a little slot. He could play nickelback. He could play safety. Like, I think it's going to be really fun to watch just whatever he does. I'm excited for him. Hopefully he's active so I can get, I guess I'll hang, one silver and black in my house and have that jersey. But, yeah, outside of that, I wish him the best. I know he's going to kill it. He's one of those guys. But, yeah, I'm happy there wasn't any Grizz this year, right?
Junior Bergen, 7th round of the 49ers.
Yep, 7th round. Makes sense.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, man, Alex, we appreciate your time. Hey, you said like everyone's talking about football inside that building. We're talking about football, and you guys specifically 5 days a week, every single week. So we would love to have you on anytime you want to be on. We really appreciate you and for being on the show, for being an awesome guy, and then for also doing great things for the community as well. We've got that link in the description if you want to sign up. And again, if you can't make it, you can still donate to the awesome cause. We're giving away that, which we'll give that away after the next ad break. So make sure to stay tuned. And Alex, just thank you so much for joining us. We always love catching up with you and love hearing that you are so close to making that full return.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll probably be there very soon. Probably in one of those chairs that are a lot more comfier.
Let's go. Let's go. Yes, we would love that. And we'll see you actually. I mean, I'm also going to be there. Henry's going to be there. We're going to be there next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see you out there at Edgewater Park or Edgewater Citizens Park in Edgewater next Friday. Alex, thank you so much. Go give Todd hell for us.
I will. Thank you guys. See ya.
See you, Alex. Man, awesome to catch up with Alex. And he just gave us 30 minutes of his time. That is so freaking cool.
He could have chosen the baby.
He could have chosen the. He could have chosen the. No, it seems like he was actually kind of locked in that facility for a little bit, going up and having a conversation with Todd there.
Okay.
Okay, let's do a giveaway. Here and Dion, pull some names. But before we do the giveaway, let's hit an ad break and give a shout out to our friends over at UC Health. We're over at UC Health. DNVR Broncos is brought to you by UC Health, the preferred partner of athletes in Colorado. For inspiring health stories, go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary. That's uchealth.org. Live extraordinary over at UC Health. And really quick shout out to Alex one more time. Hit us with a thumbs up if you enjoyed Alex being on, which I know everyone did the way the Toyota chat responded. And also, speaking of us, if you want to come down here for the coolest watch party, we've got the Nuggets watch parties going on tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Friday night, Sunday midday. Bring your mom here for a little Mother's Day watch party for the Nuggets to see them. I mean, we could be talking about a sweep come Sunday, Henry, after that. So
you don't get to say that. Not after what you were saying before the show.
I just saw the Nuggets win a game they were not supposed to win. That makes me think sweep time now.
Okay. Sure it does. If you want your floor to look like the Nuggets floor, go to Empire today because they have all the different floors. And when you have all the different floors, I'm sure there's one that's basically an NBA court. Guess what? Wood floor. I think NBA courts, they're all about like the finish. I don't think the wood is that big of a deal. It's more so about like how you shine them up. I have a feeling that Empire today has made a couple basketball courts in their day. Empire's been around for forever. You've been hearing about them for forever. You've heard the jingle for forever. And all they've done in all that time is just flooring. They're specialists. They aren't trying to go around saying we can help you with all these different things. All they do is floors, and because of that, they are really, really good at flooring. So if you want to check it out, you can actually schedule a free in-home estimate because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DNVR. You heard that right, a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details.
Man, freaking awesome to have Alex on. He even dropped an F the Raiders on the show.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought he was a little too nice to Tommy. I wanted to hear more about like the violence he wants to inflict on him.
The team he's on. That's
well,
I mean
that, and then there was like another 90 seconds of like, and Tommy's gonna do great. He's gonna be fun. I want it to be like, no, he's dead to me now, and he's leaving in something you don't want to be leaving in.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Yeah, you really wanted to turn into full caveman mode.
He will by the time football season comes around. He's out there to hurt Tommy.
Wow. No. Alex made me so fired up. It's a rainy May 6th Tuesday, and he's got me ready to go, and I know that everyone in the Toyota chat feels that as well. Okay, do we have a winner for the giveaway? We do.
Oh.
What are you pointing to? Oh, it's going to come up on the screen. The big reveal for a team entry. Angel T.
Or could be on hell.
Yeah, it could be on hell. Yes, thank you.
Could be.
How should we do this? Email us? Throw your email in here?
I
don't know if you want to throw your email in here.
And then here will get all figured out.
Yeah. Let's...
If I had an email, that'd be great.
Oh,
how
it doesn't have an email.
How about you email me? I don't have access to that. Okay, email info at the DNVR on hell, and we will get you all squared away.
Yeah, and none of you lie and say you're on hell or angel. Yeah.
We'll know. Angel T.
Or Angel in the chat publicly gives us his email. Yeah, what's something only Angel would know? How to say his name for one.
What's in the background of his profile picture? Okay, well, don't tell everyone that. Jeez, Dion. Just because you went to Boulder doesn't mean you have to give it away. Well, Angel's already in the chat right now saying woot woot. So do that right now. We'll know that the emails comes in. So it's info at the DNVR.com. DNVRBar.com, and I will get you set up there. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in with that. And if you can donate, that would be awesome. And I will be at that event. So will Henry. If any of you decide to come, make sure to swing by and say hi to us, even though there's going to be a lot cooler people there, including like all the Broncos teammates. So what a really cool event.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. I'm still working through the partner thing because I do need to get. I have some like feelers out there. I think we're going to wind up with multiple teams, but this is the kind of thing that I feel like I should be winning, you know?
Why? Like what? No, I don't know.
Because this isn't like a game of talent. Like football, you know, to be good at football, you need to be big and strong and fast. In a game like cornhole,
say that to RJ Harvey.
He 205. He's got 20 pounds on me at least. He's faster. He's quicker. You have my phone number.
Wow.
Cool.
He has Henry's personal phone. Call him right now.
Yeah.
Give him a
Get
call.
live on
Let's
the show.
see. Let's see if you actually do.
I'm
serious. Give him a call.
Yeah. See, I'm curious what's happening here.
And then put it in the chat after.
Cornhole's a simple game of who wants it more. And I think when push comes
really
to shove,
don't think so.
No, it really is.
Do you know what cornhole is?
Yeah,
This isn't tug of war.
It's you on one side of the board. It's another guy on the other side of the board. Your job is to beat that guy, and you don't. There's no punching. There's no tackling. There's no running. It's just who wants it more. And I think in those situations I thrive.
I feel like there's a lot of hand-eye coordination in cornhole. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a minimum amount that's needed, and you gotta be able to. But to me, it's just. This guy's doing his thing, and I am here to beat him. It's that simple.
Wow.
No, I'd never lose. Ask me the last time I lost at cornhole.
When was the last time you played cornhole?
Shoot.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So if you want to beat Henry in cornhole, sign up for this tournament and join Alex and us next weekend. I believe there's going to be some drinks flowing as well, so it's going to be a very fun time. Can you call Henry? We're still waiting for the call.
Hey, my pocket's not buzzing.
Your phone hasn't buzzed yet. Maybe he was lying.
I think Angel was lying.
Wow.
Hopefully he wasn't lying about
emailing
us.
I was really hoping. You better be able to be here on May 16th. Angel, are we going with Angel? Angel T?
If you say Angel, I'll say on hell, and then we'll have our bases covered.
Boom, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
The same name, just a different way.
So make sure to email us now, or else we might have to move to the next person, Angel, and
on hell.
There we go.
And we don't. Not that we have access to that email in the first place. But.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna check it out. Man, what a fun 40 minutes of this show. Henry, this is the last 22 minutes of the show for you.
Yeah.
This week. I wanted to, add some suspense
until
by holding
Wednesday.
that. Actually, for a week from now, you're going to be going and down to Mexico to get Coors Lights down in Mexico, see that that's a real thing. But from my understanding, sources tell me that you want to talk about this Broncos running back situation before you leave for your trip. Did my sources tell me correctly?
Yeah, I just don't want to be down in Mexico with all these thoughts in my head.
Wow.
I need to get them out. Otherwise, I'm going to spend the whole time thinking about it. And I will say, week at an all-inclusive resort, I'm going to be bored as hell.
No, you won't be.
No, this is the kind of thing. This is a situation where I do not thrive. This is where I do not thrive.
You don't thrive at all-inclusive resorts in Mexico, even though you've admitted you've never been.
Yeah, I've never been. But I can just imagine myself. I go, I'm like, oh, nice, 8 a.m., go out to the beach, sit, look at the water.
Yep.
Then 8:07 rolls around, I'm like, okay, now what?
You do that for like 10 more hours.
Exactly. And I'm not bringing my Xbox, which I think is a bad choice.
No, that's probably a good choice.
But I just don't know how I'm going to entertain myself.
You need to be locked in the dungeon room with Todd. Apparently, that's where you would thrive.
Seriously. No, that is the situation where I am at my best. Like,
Only with an Xbox, though.
Will Todd be there?
Like, no Todd.
Shoot. I would still take the Xbox.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to have
it'd
the
be
Xbox.
worth it.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it. That'd be a good way to spend my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the running backs.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going
They're
here.
doing.
You have a lot of stuff in your head about this.
Yeah, it's just a weird situation where this is not how I expected them to set this room up. Where, RJ Harvey's going to be your starter. That's probably open and shut. He's probably your 60% back, and the 40% back is open. Maybe he could wind up being the 40% because they really like somebody so much they get the 60.
Wait,
At the very least, he's one of the two backs.
Speaking of percentages,
Yep.
you said he gets about 60% of the reps. The others get about 40%. I agree with you. What percent chance would you say he's the week 1 starter?
I'll stick with 90. If anything, I'd go higher though.
I would go 90, but it better be 100. You don't use the second round pick on a running back in one of the least productive running back rooms in the NFL last year for this guy not to be a starter. So I agree. He should be 100% the starter, but I'll put it at 90% as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, second round pick. How often do those guys not start? I'd be curious going back historically, like how often do you not get your starting back in the second round?
You know who didn't start as a second round pick?
Javonte behind Melvin.
Oh, that's probably a good call.
I'm not sure. I can't remember how they did it.
No, I think you're right. I think Melvin was technically a starter. But also Derrick Henry.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry first fell to the second round and then wasn't the starter for like 2 or 3 years because they had, was it DeMarco Murray?
Is that right?
Yeah,
I
went
could
from the
believe
Cowboys
it.
to there.
I could believe that.
Anyways, you can continue.
Oh, also, so last year, Jonathan Brooks, because he was still recovering from the torn ACL, he was the first running back taken second round by the Panthers.
Wow.
A year before, Zach Charbonnet was second round. Did they have Kenneth Walker by then?
Yeah.
They did, so he was the number
starter.
2.
Yep.
It's
actually a decent amount.
Year before, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, James Cook. Back-to-back second-round running backs is interesting. Year before, Javonte. Year before, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was thinking Jahmyr Gibbs. I was like, he's first.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Cam Akers, JK Dobbins. AJ Dillon was the number 2 to Aaron Jones. But again, like the fact that he's, at the very least, he's the number 2 running back in the 60-40 split. So he's one of the 2. And that means that you have a competition right now for one spot in the rotation with Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, Blake Watson, and Tyler Badie. And I'm not sure how I feel about that group.
Wait, what do you mean you have one spot?
One spot in the rotation, because RJ Harvey's got one, and amongst those 4, there's one guy who's also going to be playing game in, game out. Again, maybe it's Jaleel, and in that case, you're like, hey, this is a 3rd and 1 late in the game. We can throw Audric in for one play.
Well,
but for the most part, there's 2 spots.
Well, and as Sean has told us, for 2 straight years now, it's hard to play 3 running backs. So to your point about like, it's not a roster spot, but it's playing spot. On game day, he really only likes to play 2. And naturally, with knowing that RJ Harvey is a burner, he can also run in between the tackles. But you would say naturally, I think a lot of people also, and I've seen it in the Twitter chat already, are just giving it to Audric Estime. Okay, he's the most logical fit with a smaller speed back, which I would be hesitant to just group RJ Harvey into that just because he's 5'8". I mean, he's 205 pounds at 5'8". That's like me adding 70 pounds of pure muscle and speed.
He's 7 pounds lighter than Javonte was at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's you're pretty much looking to do it all back.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'd be a little hesitant to just group him in the small running back category and then say, okay, the number 2 is Audric Estime. Is that kind of where you're at as well? You're not just automatically giving it?
I think it's wide open. Again, like you look at Jaleel, 187 coming out, that's a small running back. You know, 20 pounds less, that is small. I'm curious, how big was Phil Lindsay coming out? Because even he was a between the tackles guy.
Yeah.
Like he was a guy who, he couldn't quite figure out the passing portion of the game, but he was 5'8", 190, and he was between the tackles. So yeah, I mean, RJ Harvey just as productive between the tackles as outside. He can do either role. He can do both roles. And I think that's why the competition for the other spot is so open. But I also came to this offseason thinking those 4 would not be competing for a role in the rotation. I thought there would be one more guy that would either be locked into a spot or a 6th round pick who, it's like, hey, you're in the competition too. Like, can you like raise the floor a little bit? One more chance that you're going to pop out of this group. And I think with every passing day, it seems like it becomes less likely that they go after a veteran. And the more you think like, hey, they might just like those 4 and say, out of these 4, we like our number 2.
Or it just shows how much they really like RJ Harvey. And instead of a 60-40 split, Sean's now thinking 80-20, 90-10. Now,
just
he's
haven't
always
seen it.
had kind of two guys. Right. So I agree with you, but there is still, I mean, the Broncos, once the first couple weeks of free agency passed, it was pretty clear that they weren't going to sign a running back until after the draft happened. We're only 9 days removed from the draft, so they could still add a running back. I know Nick Chubb is out there. There's some big name
Chubb
veterans.
and Dobbins are the two.
Yep, Dobbins is still out there. Although, did you see what the Chargers did with Dobbins last week?
Yeah.
They put I've honestly never heard of it before. It's some sort of tender on him after he becomes a free agent, where I think it means by training camp, if he's not signed, then they owe him $2.5 million in contract. If he is signed by someone else, they get like a day 3 pick in return from that team. So if the Broncos sign JK Dobbins, they would owe the Chargers, I think it's a 7th round pick or something like that. They would owe the Chargers a 7th round pick, which would be fascinating. Because they could have signed it before the draft and owed the Chargers nothing. Now they, or whoever signs him, owes them a little bit.
And then with Chubb, again, big name, you're talking about a guy who is less productive than Javonte in just about any category you look at last year. And it's like, if you didn't want Javonte for his price tag, paying the same price for Nick Chubb, I don't know. Like, you'd get excited about it. You'd say, hey, maybe this guy gets back to being himself. But if you were just looking at things logically, you'd say, this guy should get beat out by Audric Estime. And so that's what makes it so interesting, is that both those guys, it's really tough to say you should add them. They'll solve your problem. If anything, it just kind of, and they probably agree, it just clutters that room even more. You look at who's next up. Like, could Cam Akers be a Bronco? He's coming off his best season in 4 years, which was 297 rushing yards. Pretty easy to say that he's not going to be a major factor for your team. So what I see is that I think the Broncos really are just going to roll with this group and say, I'm not sure who's most likely out of Audric, Jaleel, and I wouldn't discount Blake Watson and Tyler Badie either. Like, when Tyler Badie was on the field, he looked good. He could be the guy who gets out of this and at least opens the season, that second running back spot. And it might be September, it's one of these guys, and they don't play well, and then October you make the change to somebody else. But it's very strange, I think, how this room is built right now. Because the rest of them, you can kind of see the pecking order and how things are going to shake out, who the backups are, who the prospects' developmental pieces are. Running back, though, is the one where maybe it is as simple as those four competing for one spot.
Yeah, it very much might be just like that. And Henry, I think outside of Bo Nix, there might be the most pressure on one player on the team. And I want to see if you agree with that, but I got to give a shout out. If you want to become a diehard, we no longer have the draft sale going on, but we do have a new intro offer going on over at thednvr.com. For under $50, you are going to be able to get our year package, which includes a free t-shirt of your choice over at the locker. It includes discounts at the bar. It includes discounts on all of our events. It includes discounts of our merchandise. You get access to all of our premium written content. When I say access to all of our premium written content, I mean it. Not just Broncos, but Avs, Nuggets, Rockies, Buffs, Rams, anything we cover, you get all the access for that for an entire year. So you'll get all of this Broncos season, plus all of Broncos free agency next year, plus all of the draft next year, plus all of the Nuggets and Avs regular season next year, and the beginning of the playoffs, and it supports us as well. So become a diehard by going to thednvr.com, where we have that intro offer still available over on the site now. And again, if you want to come and hang out at the bar for a Nuggets playoff game, it's a perfect place to be. Tomorrow night we'll be here for the Nuggets game. So shout out to everyone that is a diehard and that will become one. And hit us with a thumbs up, because we really appreciate every single one of you that's joining us today. Let's show Alex the love by giving a thumbs up on this show as well. You here? Do we have an email yet? Oh my goodness!
No.
We got it.
We got it.
Okay, boom.
Just one?
There we go. You
Just one. Great.
You
Good.
are going to be there next Friday, Angel T. I'll reach out to you later today. So shout out to you for winning that, and shout out to everyone for tuning in today and commenting Alex there. Okay, so Henry, when I think of this, I think there might be, in terms of players on this team, there might be the most pressure on RJ Harvey this year outside of Bo Nix, because just like you, I mean, Sean even told us a couple of times this offseason, like, we're probably going to add a couple of running backs. I think George said that as well.
Yep.
Well, they haven't. So maybe it's foreshadowing. Maybe another move is going to come. But as of right now, sitting in the middle of May, there's only been one move. That's a lot of pressure on RJ Harvey. Now, running back is a position that can transition pretty easily and quickly from college to the NFL, but he's not going to have like the luxury of a rookie season. Like, kid, you can just learn on the way. No, he's clearly their plan for week one. And if he struggles and has a little bit of rookie learning curves, or a lot of rookie learning curves, that's going to be really bad news for this offense, because it was not a productive room last year. It doesn't mean the guys can't take a step up. I mean, you had Blake Watson as an undrafted rookie. Jaleel McLaughlin, still young. Audric Estime was a rookie last year. Tyler Badie really getting his first playing time, and he was even injured. So there is still hope for this team, that group to take a step up. But, man, the Broncos, as of right now, are really counting on RJ Harvey to take a big step up, to be half of their offense, essentially, with that running game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Javonte Williams, 900 yards as a rookie, his best season in the NFL. Like, you kind of need that sort of production just right out of the jump from him, which is a tough spot for him to be in. The good news is running back is one of those spots that you can patch on the fly. It's not always great options that are out there, but there are always options that are out there.
To your point, Latavius Murray a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He came in and
multiple 100-yard games.
Yeah, exactly. The first time a Bronco had a 100-yard game that season.
The last time the Broncos had a 100-yard game.
Wow.
Yep.
Latavius Murray.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
It goes to your point, though, about how you can get guys that are free agents or available or on practice squads and get good production out of them.
And you've seen teams make big moves at that point, too. Like, if you get a month and a half in, and that's when the Christian McCaffrey trade happened. And who knows who the top running back on the market is going to be.
Maybe Christian McCaffrey. If,
it honestly might be
49ers
Christian
are taken
McCaffrey again. But you look through the list of guys who are on expiring contracts. Breece Hall is the name that everybody passes around. Jets could very easily be very bad. You could make that trade. Austin Eckler. Who did the Commanders draft?
Yes. They drafted someone.
Who was that? It was basically Austin Eckler. It was, I'll think of it. But, I mean, Travis Etienne, he could be a guy who fits well.
Yeah.
There are all the rumors that the Seahawks could be moving a running back in the offseason.
Yeah.
Could they change their mind? Kenneth Walker's in the last year of his deal. James Cook, last year of his deal. Next year's free agent class is better than this year's was in terms of running backs, which also means that you could just wait and sign a free agent if things aren't going well. But I wouldn't put it past Sean to say, hey, the running game still isn't working. We can do something crazy here. In part because they were responsible in the draft. They didn't wind up trading their first or second round pick to go get Ashton Genty. Like, they still have that full catalog of draft picks next year. I don't know. Something crazy is going to happen in this running backs room this year. Either one of these guys is going to turn out to be like RJ Harvey's a Pro Bowler, or Tyler Badie out of nowhere, or Audric Estime takes a step and you're like, oh, this is like a legitimate starting type NFL running back. Or I think there's going to be a big change at some point in the season. And that's why I think this position is probably the most interesting on the team.
Yeah, it very much might be that. And I think the most likely outcome of all of those that you mentioned is RJ Harvey just being the guy. And RJ Harvey going out there and having a 1,200-yard rushing season. Sean knows how to get running backs going, and it's not just Alvin Kamara. He's done it with Reggie Bush. He's done it with Mark Ingram. And when, again, Sean Payton has drafted 4 running backs in the top 100 in his career. One of them was Reggie Bush, number 2 overall. One of them was Mark Ingram in the 20s, and one of them was Alvin Kamara in the 3rd round, just before that 100 mark. And then the 4th one, of course, RJ Harvey being in that top 100 as well. All of those guys have went on to have a tremendous amount of success. You can argue if Reggie Bush was worth the number 2 overall pick, but you can argue that he had a lot of success in the NFL, and that's the expectation that I think Sean's going to have for RJ Harvey. The other 3 have lived up to it. I think RJ is as well. Where would I have to draw the line for you with RJ Harvey, Henry, for you to say, I'll pass on that and gamble with his rushing yards this season, or I'll take that right now? If I said 1,050 rushing yards this season,
Take it in an instant.
if I said 950,
If he runs for 950 yards, that would be the 5th most ever for a Sean Payton running back.
wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's had 3,000-yard rushers ever. Mark Ingram, 2017, had 1124. Deuce McAllister, 1057 in 2006. 1043 for Ingram in 2016. So, I mean,
Because
if you
Sean
say...
likes to do running back by
Exactly.
committee.
And that he just hasn't ever made an exception to that, which is why if you're telling me 950 for RJ Harvey, I'd say he's probably giving you like 5 yards per carry to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take 950.
I think you'd have to, but yeah, it's always scary because that's not the history of the Broncos.
Right.
You know, history of Broncos is you give it to Floyd Little goes and leads the NFL in rushing yards. A whole bunch of guys in between, but eventually get to Terrell Davis. You give him the ball every time, he winds up being a 2,000-yard rusher. Replace him with Clinton Portis, and boom, he winds up being like ridiculously high numbers.
He has 3,000 yards in his first 2 seasons.
Totally. And all the way through to even like Willis McGahee. Just feed Willis McGahee. I'm not sure what he had, but it was like 1,300, 1,400 yards.
Feed Tim Tebow.
Feed Tim Tebow. Yeah, so as crazy as it sounds...
Philip Lindsay, the first running back undrafted running back to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, and that's why it's so hard to say... That's why running back 2 is so important. That's why the fact that they're leaving it up to this competition is just a little bit surprising and unnerving. And I get it's like you get 4 rolls of the dice, but whew,
Do you feel better having that out of your system now?
I feel a little
You
better.
feel like Mexico's going to be more enjoyable?
I hope so.
That 8 a.m. to 8:07?
Only 800-yard rushers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think who's the most likely to step into that number 2 role?
You'd have to say Audric first, I think. I think you'd have to go Jaleel 2. And then you probably have to go Badie 3 just because we've seen it, whereas Blake Watson just never really got on the field.
Man, it's all toss-ups.
It really is.
Especially because I agree that I want to say it's Audric, being a 5th round pick last year. But the toughest thing is the most recent opportunity he had to get on the field was the Buffalo Bills playoff game. And Sean Payton and the offensive staff decided to take his jersey away and give it to Tyler Badie, who had not played in 10 weeks or something crazy like that. And that's so hard for me to get over. Now, obviously, he can have a big transformation his sophomore season and take all of this time to become the running back that Sean Payton wants him to be. And hey, it's hard to find a better dude than Audric Estime in the encounters that we've had with him. So I believe he has that mental makeup for it. But with that being the last taste in your mouth, that's a little bit hard for me to just like
Maybe it is Jaleel.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd give the nod to Audric just like you did.
Yeah. I think so too. Again, he turned 21 a few days before the season started. I think that's most likely. But, if Bet365 put the odds out on who's going to be the number 2 running back, I would probably put my money on Blake Watson.
Yeah, because you get the highest odds.
Yeah, give me the 9-1 odds or whatever, because I really think that this competition is going to be close.
I totally agree with you right there.
Yeah.
We got one super chat before you head to Mexico, Henry. Let's hit it right here. It's coming from our friend Alex. Alex, hey, how about that? We had an Alex Singleton and Alex Lassis chiming in, who says, just hit one of the Bet365's Bet Boost parlays at plus 1,200 using the code DNVR. Go Broncos, go DNVR. That's what we love to hear. Congratulations, Alex,
Yep.
let us know what the bet was so we
Yeah.
can just piggyback off of that. Maybe it was a Nuggets bet last night. We can piggyback on it tomorrow. One thing you can't do in Mexico, I don't think, is
No.
bet. So you're going to want to put your
That's
bets in
why-
on Bet365 today, Henry.
The tough part is, so I had the Knicks Nuggets money line parlay.
Oh, my goodness.
Plus 1727.
Oh, my
Which is a great
goodness.
way to go to Mexico, just getting a bunch of cash.
That's incredible.
But, so like last series, I took a bunch of like
Wait,
just
really
the-
quick. We're going to get that advice over on Overtime, thednvr.com, to finish out our show over at Overtime. Okay, so tell us, 1,700.
Yeah. So last series, I wound up just taking a bunch of underdogs to win the series. I wound up only hitting on the Timberwolves because the Blues lost it. They
Yeah.
had the 2-goal lead and blew it. The Rockets blew it in Game 7. So
Yeah.
I went 1 for 5 on those after an incredible start. But I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing. Warriors plus 150. I know we disagree on that, but I think the Warriors got them.
Yeah,
that might be it.
I think that's wrong. I think, unfortunately, the Timberwolves. I want the Golden State Warriors because when the Nuggets take care of business against the Thunder, I would
Yeah.
way rather have the Nuggets play the Warriors than I would have them play the Wolves.
Okay. Yeah, I'm struggling. I need
So
to
I'll be
pick a
pulling for your
couple of
plus
these.
150.
Again, what am I going to do while I'm in Mexico? I need sports on.
There will be. Here's got some ideas for
Oh.
what you can do in
I'm
Mexico.
going to have to talk to you here.
Enjoy the beach. Well, Henry, thank you for
Yeah.
rocking and rolling with me these first 2 days of the week. Enjoy Mexico. We'll see you next week, but this show's not going anywhere. We'll be back 11 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to have Fran Duffy on later in the week. We're going to have Brian Balding around. We're going to have some other guests as well, so make sure to stay tuned. Hits with a thumbs up on the way out. Make sure to sign up for Alex's event next week. We're going to be there. Would love to see you out there, and have a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. DNVR Broncos Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.